Here are some of the biggest mistakes you are making as a beginner artist, starting with number 1. The invisible mistake in character art. It's easy to think that perspective only applies to buildings or backgrounds. Buildings are rigid, so when people think about drawing them, they immediately think perspective. But what do you think of first when drawing a character? Probably the pose, the facial expression, maybe the clothing they'll have on, or the way their hair will flow. And sure, even beginners will think about perspective when drawing from a high perspective or a low perspective. However, what many beginners don't realize is that perspective simply is how our eyes see everything. Everything, no matter what eye level, pose, or point of view, it has perspective if it is being seen through the human eye. I don't know how aliens see the world, but as human artists, we must depict this effect in order for our characters to seem like they're really there. Let's use this drawing as an example. It's simple and the eye level is around the midpoint of the character. Characters are obviously very commonly drawn from this point of view, but that is exactly why this mistake is so common. We've seen and drawn so many characters from this front-on angle that we started recognizing patterns. The skirt hem forms a slight downward curve. The socks form a slightly bigger downward curve. That the feet are usually drawn from above. We've been patching this mistake up through pattern recognition rather than knowing why they look like that. But here's the real kicker. Even incorrect character drawings sometimes technically end up correct because the human body can bend, tilt, and contort. You may have wanted to draw the character looking straight forward, but you accidentally drew it looking down, because that's what the default view of the head looks like in a front angle drawing. This is why this mistake is so invisible. It can cloak itself with the flexibility of the human body, unlike buildings. So keep this in mind, everything has perspective, even character art of a basic front view. Once you realize that, it finally makes you stop wondering why you just cannot make harder poses work and why they end up looking like the usual front view. As a beginner, not knowing this was a huge part of the reason why my higher or lower angle drawings just ended up looking front on. I simply didn't realize perspective applies to characters too. Be sure to know the why. Why the hemline looks like that. Why it looks like the character is looking slightly downwards despite the face being drawn front on. Humans are social creatures. One of the biggest reasons for that is how we learn. We learn from each other. Almost every major innovation in history happened because someone built on knowledge that already existed. Nobody figured everything out alone. And yet many artists try to do exactly that. They practice over and over again, hoping to eventually stumble onto the right answers through trial and error. But think about it. Perspective, anatomy, lighting, composition, color, storytelling. Art is simply too complex to rediscover everything yourself. And I was like this. I was stubborn, and once I got to a certain point of learning, I just went, I'll just figure the rest out on my own. And all of you are wrong, and my way works for me, so my way will be the only way for me. Listen, artists today have something that artists in the past could only dream of. An almost unlimited library of knowledge instantly accessible through our fingertips. Tutorials, courses, professional artists explaining exactly how they approach their work. Ignoring that and trying to learn everything purely through trial and error is basically trying to reinvent the wheel every time you draw. So if trial and error is the slowest way to improve, what's a faster way? That's where a platform like Skillshare comes in, who's kindly sponsored this video. As I said, learning only from yourself can feel terribly slow. It may take years of poking and prodding to see meaningful progress in this way. To save time, check out Skillshare's thousands of classes taught by world-class creatives and professionals in not just art, but many other industries. Naturally, when I was looking through the platform, I went straight for a class related to manga or Clip Studio Paint. That's when I found a class called iPad Manga Drawing in Clip Studio by Katagiri Sensei, a mangaka who's been published in weekly and monthly Shonen Sunday in Japan. Now, even though I already have quite a lot of experience drawing manga, I still ended up taking away a huge amount of useful information from this class, and honestly it was filled with moments like this. So that's why that layer color becomes blue like that, I see. Oh man, drawing like this is so much better actually. I didn't even know there was a manga gradient. in Clip Studio Paint. Despite already using Clip Studio Paint for years, there were so many small workflow tips that I had never come across before. I tried applying some of these ideas from the class myself. Here's a page I drew before taking the class, and here's a page I worked on while going through the lessons. Learning from the pros in the industry really does feel different. Another feature on Skillshare that I genuinely loved was the project feature. When members finish a class, they can actually submit the work they created from it as a project, and the instructor can give feedback on it. In this case, you could literally have your work looked at by a published mangaka in Japan. If you're interested in learning from professional artists like this, Skillshare is the best place to start and get feedback on your work. And the first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan the QR code will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So if you've been wanting to improve your art faster and learn directly from professionals, feel free to check it out. Thank you again for my first ever sponsor to the Skillshare team. Now let's get back on track with a few quickfire mistakes. We're past the stage of thinking that using references is cheating, right? So let me say something that is said less often. Using reference doesn't mean you're necessarily trying to redraw the reference one-to-one. If it could help your art, use it. If you're struggling to draw something in an original work, it could be just you missing some information. Don't guess, look it up. Many beginners draw way too small without realizing it. I did it too. The important part is that drawing too small will make constructing form much harder. If your drawings keep feeling cramped or messy, try drawing larger than you normally would. I recommend at least 300 dpi and 2000 pixels on each side. Art is hard, really hard. Sure, just like the gym, you can expect some serious improvement in the first few weeks of learning and doing. As you start working towards the intermediate stage and beyond, don't expect improvement to come as quickly as before. But at the same time, if you don't see improvement quickly, don't be discouraged, it's normal, and this will lead into the last mistake of the video too. But for now, again, we've all heard flip the canvas often, so let me say something less often said one more time. Don't start to rely on flipping the canvas to draw. Otherwise, you're basically only learning to draw things from one side or angle. Instead, try to rotate the canvas to get the comfortable angles for your hand. Why? Well, the same reason why we learn to take off the training wheels on our bikes. We could just ride our bikes with training wheels our entire lives, but they also prevent you from learning the skills the activity actually depends on. If you do this, try to slowly take off those training wheels. You heard the man, symmetry is boring most of the time. This can apply to basically everything, even down to the eyes. Instead of trying to draw everything symmetrical, mix it up every once in a while, and you may be surprised at how ironically more natural everything looks. Those were some of the smaller mistakes that can quietly hold artists back, but the next one is a much bigger trap that affects the entire drawing, and it has to do with detail. I talked about something similar in my previous video about drawing in a manga-like style. In that video, I mentioned thinking of details like a budget, but I quickly realized this idea applies to almost all forms of drawn art. It's just especially important in manga for a different reason. In our case, every drawing only has a limited amount of detail the viewer's eye can comfortably process. If you spend this budget everywhere, the image just becomes chaotic. If everything stands out, nothing stands out. Just like how, if everyone is rich, no one is rich. If every dude my age reaches 6 foot nowadays, no one is 6 foot. The bar gets moved to 6 foot too. Therefore, a lot of pros intentionally leave parts of their drawings less detailed. Secondary areas get less attention, important areas get the real investment. Now, where should that investment go? The face is an obvious one, the pose or the silhouette of the drawing is another. One thing many beginners miss, the hands. They're not something you should just limp through like every other time and be done with it. There's a reason why good speakers move their hands around so frequently. In fact, I want to move my hands around too while I'm recording this, but I am trying not to so it doesn't affect the audio. I would say it actually competes with the face as the most expressive part of the human body. It might sound like a bold claim, but think about it. Again, you probably knew this already, but did you know it? That's the real question.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It's just as with the first mistake. Many beginners are likely doing this subconsciously through pattern recognition rather than actually knowing what's going on. In your next artwork, try to be more conscious of where you put these details and where you put them less. Push the two extremes a little further apart than usual. Even more in the important areas and even less in the secondary areas. You may be surprised at the result. You've gotten past the hurdle of starting and you're starting to draw with excitement, but somewhere along the way, the motivation fades. The sketch stays a sketch and a new idea takes its place. How many times have you guys gone through that? For me, it was barely any, surprisingly. Even when I was a beginner, I think I was granted the gift of extra hyper focus in exchange for the act of starting something being even harder. Whenever I started a drawing, I almost always finished it because I didn't want to think about anything else. If every drawing stops at the sketch stage, you stop practicing the later stages of drawing. And by later stages, I don't mean just coloring or rendering. Later stages can be anything depending on what you draw, and whatever the final stages are for your style, you'll never be able to practice them if you never finish your drawings. Those final stages are skills just like anything else. Rendering takes practice, line work takes practice, cleaning up your sketches takes practice, but if you constantly jump into a new sketch or idea before reaching those stages, those skills simply cannot develop. Finishing drawings will teach you something that starting them never will. So, every once in a while, push a drawing all the way to the finish line. Not every drawing needs to be perfect. One day, we will all reach a level where we will finally like all of our art, where every drawing feels satisfying, where the doubts finally go away, or so I thought. The truth is, that day will never come. The final mistake that I'll be talking about today is believing that it will. I know I always try to end my videos with something uplifting and motivating. This is too, it just doesn't sound like it yet. Just let me cook for a bit. Artists of all levels will sometimes look at their work and think this could have been better. And the reason is actually simple. As your drawing skills improve, something else improves along with it, your taste. Do you know how proud I was of this drawing in 2022? It felt like I peaked. It almost felt like a fluke how good it was, and I was actually worried I might not be able to draw this good again. Let's be honest with ourselves. Nowadays, this would be a solid 2 out of 10. As a matter of fact, let me redraw this. You start noticing more and more subtle mistakes, small issues with anatomy, composition, or perspective that you would have never noticed back then. So the bar keeps moving. And strangely enough, that's actually a good thing. As I mentioned in my recent video that's gotten way too many views, that feeling of this could be better is often what pushes artists to keep improving in the first place. The gap between what you can imagine and what you can currently create never fully disappears, in my opinion. If you sometimes look at your art and think, man, I'm really not that good yet, or man, this was a fluke, I'm never making something this good again, don't panic. Instead of expecting to always like your art, try to see the dissatisfaction for what it really is, not as a flaw in your progress, not as a sign you're failing, but as a simple reminder that you can become so much more. Thank you for watching, everyone. I wanted to start showcasing some of your artwork at the end of these videos. These are all from the community posts tab, so if you want your art featured in the next video, feel free to post it along with your socials. I would also love to see your art if you tried any of these tips from this video. Did any of these mistakes surprise you, or do you have any ideas for future videos? Please let me know in the comments. I talked about the gap between your taste and your skill earlier on. If you would like a deeper analysis on that very topic, please see the video on screen right now. And if you made it this far, a like and a sub would be greatly appreciated as always. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.